So, after a fiery pre-match GOR, you may notice we are slightly depleted, but the show must go on. Welcome to the review of Aston Villa 4, Forest 2. Oh, God, working with these amateurs, man. Honestly, good thing we weren't live. We've had Ez storm off, Ant storm off. It's all here. Now Ant's back. Let's bring Ant back on. Are we all good? I don't know where Ez is. You're right, Ant.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah.
Sure. You taking your tablets?
I've just taken my calm down tablets, so I should be all right.
All right. I don't know if Ez is coming, man.
How long do they last, these calm down tablets?
Until he drinks the red wine.
About an hour.
Hour and 25 minutes, Rob.
It is. It's an hour and 20. You could say you watched by it.
5 minutes.
Out with the old, in with the new. Evening, everybody. Hope you are well. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. And look, some of you may be looking for a therapy stream. Some of you may be looking for positivity. We'll try and bring it all. We'll try and bring it all. And don't forget, we are giving away this tonight. So all your names have been locked in. Everyone who has entered, good luck to you. This is being given away tonight. But as an added little stipulation, you have to make sure you've downloaded SofaScore, because I will be checking. So make sure you downloaded SofaScore. The link's pinned in the chat and in the description. Get that downloaded if you haven't already. Get those likes up and subscribe if you are new. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. From the highs of West Ham to the lows of Villa. Oh, God, guys. Where do we start? Do you want to apologize first, Dan, to Ez, or should we just ignore that and move on?
Don't be silly.
Okay, I tried to
I don't have anything
peace.
to apologize for.
I tried to peace, mate. Let's kick it off with you, Lemmy, man. What are your thoughts on the lows of the game yesterday? What's your spin on this? Justice for Ez, he's got in his name.
I want to say justice for Ez. He may laugh like a schoolgirl, but there's no need to say it out loud. Next time, just keep that in your head. Yeah, it was a difficult one, and I think it was made even more difficult by almost coming back into the game and making it 3-2 at that point. We've not seen that. I don't think we've ever, the amount of times that we've been down by a series of goals, you've kind of just given up on the game, and you're like, right, just don't be more than 8 or 9-0. We don't want to set the new league record. To then come back and make it 3-2, it's like, oh, maybe we have turned a corner and making the game again, but just giving away goals. I mean, it's literally as if we're selling them. It's like every player's got a price and they're just willing to give a goal to anyone just on any high press, and they're still trying to pass around the back. So it seems like West Ham might have been the outlier where nobody made any mistakes, but we just have to, if we can just iron out these individual errors, we have something. And I think that's what's the most frustrating thing this season. We're so close to being a very competitive team, but we just throw it away.
Yeah, but Joe, we've been saying that like since my inception, man. Like, mistakes for us, especially in the Premier League now, man. It's like,
but I mean, but we would throw away goals last season, and that'd be the end of the game. As soon as you went 2-0 down, we'd never come back from that kind of a. If we were 2 goals behind, that was it. There's no point watching the game anymore. It's done. The game's done. We've lost. It's now just a case of damage limitation, even though we ended up still with probably one of the worst goal differences in the league. Whereas this season, if we're within 1 or 2 goals, we still have the attacking capability to chase it down, especially with Nuno. We're scoring at least 1 or 2 goals a game. So as long as we can keep it down and try and minimise the amount of errors we commit, then we're always in a game. And I think that's what's frustrating now. We're there. As long as we don't make these kind of errors against, when we've got that run of playing Fulham, Burnley and Sheffield United back to back, as long as we get them all out the way now, so that we then win those 3 games, or at least get a point in one of them and win the other 2, we'll be fine.
Okay. That's positive. I like it. Do you agree with what Lemmy's saying in the chat? I mean, we'll be, we'll have the R by our name, and he'll still be saying, "Yeah, we're fine. We'll find a way." I love it. Let's get the elephant out of the room.
As long as you can score goals, that's the most important thing. You won't go down. Forest are going to change my mind.
You might go down though if you play a out of form centre back as a left back.
Well, go on, Crypto. Let's get this elephant out the room, out the way. Just before we do, Noah, thank you so much for the 199. Hi, guys. My away luck has come to an end. It was your fault, Noah. It was your fault. You called a win. You were going. But no, shout out to you, Noah. Thank you so much for the 199. Any super chats that come in, we will do a little segue between the segues for the super chats. Just to make sure we got the conversation flowing. So keep those coming in. Let me know in the super chats. Are you backing Ant or Ez? And it's like, we should do a poll.
I know what the answer to that will be.
Although Ez has ran away, so he's not here to back.
Oh God! All right, let's talk about this left back thing, Crypto man. What was your take on it?
So I mean, I wasn't too pleased with it. I think for me, this is probably one of the first critical errors that Nuno's made. You've put Niakhate in at left back. So Niakhate has not been in the best form anyway in his proper position since he came back from AFCON. And now you're asking him to play in a different position. I think we know from experience that playing people out of position is not going to work. I can understand, kind of why he did it. He thought Niakhate is normally a great defender. He can be there to stop the ball, but it just didn't work. To kind of rub salt in the wound, you have Toffolo sat on the bench, who's a pretty decent left back. I mean, some people would argue that he goes ahead of Tavares. Personally, I'd put Tavares there first, but 100% I'd have Toffolo on the left back as opposed to Niakhate. Now, what happened was, because Niakhate kept getting ran past, it pulled the whole defensive line to the left.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is that Murillo was almost playing as a left back because Niakhate was playing like he'd been red carded, like he didn't exist. So Murillo goes to the left. If you watch the first two goals back, Felipe, where he's defending, is almost on the left post where Murillo should be. Because I've seen a lot of blame for Felipe in that match. But Felipe is now trying to cover the other side of the box, which is not a natural thing for him to do. And that's where the two first goals have come from. All of the line has been pulled to the left, and there's no backup near the far post. I would praise Nuno that he changed it up quickly at half time. And we can tell that we normally play better in the second half. His team talks definitely work. But that, for me, was a mistake. It effectively caused the first two goals. And, the game was over. 2-0 down. Yes, we nearly came back, but there was yet another mistake, this time from Amabamidele. The game was over. You concede that many so early on. And I think it could have been avoided this time. So, look, I'm glad. The one thing the positive spin is that Nuno saw it and he made the change at half time. And that was brilliant because under previous management, he probably would have left them there till the 70th minute. So I'm glad he learned from it so quickly, but I don't think it needed to happen in the first place.
Yeah, but you say he learned from it. Could he have not learned from it quicker? Like, would there not have been an argument to switch Murillo and Niakhate round? Because Murillo was getting dragged out anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, I was sat there probably in about the 20th minute. I would have actually taken Niakhate off. I would have put Toffolo on. As you say, maybe you move Murillo there because Murillo used to play left back as well when he started his career. But Niakhate, it was a weakness, wasn't it? If you're Unai Emery, you're saying, right, who are we going to target this match? Well, Niakhate is not in form. We're not going to target Murillo because he's the best defender in the league. So let's target Niakhate because he's not in great form. Then they find out he's moved to left back, so he's out of position. And the whole of the first half an hour is just run at Niakhate and get past him. I'm not blaming Niakhate because it's not his position. He's not a pacey left back, but I'm blaming the tactics and the setup. Yes, I have had a haircut and become more knowledgeable. I'm now the haircut of truth, or as Rob was saying pre-stream, the hairline of truth. I think he called me, or the reduction.
Have you done yet?
I'm trying to get up to half.
When you said you were going to do a Rob 20-minute monologue, we thought you were joking.
I know,
Yeah,
man.
I was aiming for half an hour, but I can't.
I know we still got Rob's monologue to come in a minute. Bloody hell. Go on, man. Get your point in.
Do my little bit. I'm gonna put slightly the other side of the case, right? I 100% would have had Toffolo playing at left back, especially after seeing the game. That goes without saying, okay. But what you got to remember is a few things. First of all, you're blaming Nuno. Niakhate has played over 60 games in the Bundesliga at left back. He is not an unknown, never. That's not his position. Over 60 games he's played in the Bundesliga. Yes, Farmers League, all that, but he has played over 60. So he didn't just stick somebody in on a whim. Okay? He knew that he had. And hang on. You've had your half an hour. And he perhaps thought that Niakhate would be a little bit more dynamic. Plus, you've got to bear in mind, we're playing away to a very, very good side. I admit that they've had a few losses at home recently, but nevertheless, they are a very good home side. B, they're probably playing. Niakhate was probably against, if not the hottest, one of the hottest wingers in the country right now. There's no guarantee that had Toffolo played there, I'm just playing devil. Don't jump. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm with you.
There's no guarantee that if Toffolo played there, he wouldn't have been rinsed, turned inside out, and come off with twisted knackers. Okay? There's no guarantee because Bailey has been doing that all season. So let's just think about things before we dive in and hammer players or dive in and hammer the manager. Let's just think about why these things have happened, and maybe there are reasons other than the fact that they're just shit. That's my bit on Niakhate.
But
I do agree. On reflection, I would have preferred Toffolo there. But I'm just saying there are reasons.
What has Toffolo done wrong that he can't even get?
Because Niakhate is a better player than Toffolo. It's not what he's done wrong.
I agree, but in that position, I would disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you watch his 60 games at left back?
Yeah, but it's a different league, and it's a different time period. He's been playing centre back.
All I'm trying to say, mate, is it wasn't just a Nuno being stupid and putting a player there.
No, I'm not saying he's being stupid. I just think it was the
That's what people have been saying, haven't they? And I've seen a lot on Twitter and stuff where Nuno's an idiot, Nuno doesn't know, Nuno this.
Yeah, hence why the title of the thumbnail. Yeah.
An international player, he was captain of Mainz and he played left back over 60 times for Mainz. So it's not a stupid, outrageous thing to have done.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it was a mistake. As it turns out, we're all great in hindsight. Okay.
At least he changed it up on that.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into. We need to give this section a name. It can't be the Rob rant because we got the Ant rant. The Rob
knows.
Rob Ramble.
The Lib Dems.
Ramble. Yeah. Blades Ramble. Rob Ramble.
Rob Ramble.
You've said a lot of it already. What I would say,
that's not going to stop you saying it again, Rob, is it? Let's be honest.
No, I do think I'm feeling better than I was yesterday. I just can't bear watching defeats. I think we need to give credit to Villa. I think personally, I underestimated them. I think they were very, very good yesterday. And although we're looking at this with a lot of hindsight, I'm not sure how we could, if we did that game again, I'm still not sure if we had 3 or 4 goes at it, how we win it, quite honestly. I don't want to describe anything as a free hit, but I think Lemmy said absolutely there's 3 away games that we must win, right? And we all know which those are. And if you pick up anything from the others, it's worth having a go. I was hoping that we were going to catch them like Newcastle off balance, but when you look back at that game, there were 2 key players in that Newcastle away game that we didn't have available, which was Chris Wood and Sangare. And therefore, trying to replicate that, we've come a cropper. I think the story for me is that Emery adapted and Nuno didn't. So that game was not as advertised, right? That was not a high line. I did not see Ilanga got in behind them once. Yeah. Taiwo got in behind them not at all. Gibbs White got in behind them once, right? But that was absolutely not what I was expecting. I think there was a clue in there with the pre-match you did with the guy from Villa. He said, look, that line's not as high as you think, right? So I think we all expected them to set up as they did at the City ground, and they didn't. They didn't leave that weakness. Now, I mean, I'm not blaming Nuno because I think if you replay our pre-match, we were all saying don't change a winning side, right?
No.
Well, okay, that was yeah, you wanted people in that weren't available, right? So that's not the same thing.
Still.
Yeah, but it
Right.
got forced. It
Got a
got forced.
point, Rob.
So anyway, boy, did we miss Tavares though, because that was the one change that was enforced. Now, the thing is that I've just said that Emery adapted. I think there is such a thing as having an identity and playing to your strengths, but there's also such a thing as being stubborn, right? And would it have hurt to play a 5-back? You know, once you know that Tavares is not available, would it have hurt to play? Well, no, but Villa had way too much space at the back. They, you know, the movement of Watkins and Bailey and Cash and the passing of Luiz, it honestly, we got shredded. It reminded me of the Fulham game. And I hate to say it, but I think there's a chance that might be Felipe's last game for us. I really do, because he is not what he was at the end of last season. I was never conservative.
Yeah, but Rob, the thing about this 5-back thing, I don't think that was the main issue. I think Luiz and McGinn overrun us in the midfield. If you have 5-back, you're still going to end up with 2 in the midfield.
Danilo was poor. You know, and unfortunately, Hudson-Odoi was just no threat without Tavares bombing forward with him. I think possibly the selection of Niakhate was because they wanted to make use of the long throw, but I felt that didn't give much dividends really.
He did score as well.
Yeah, he did. He chested the first goal, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how we go. But looking at how well they played yesterday, I think if you replayed it 4 or 5 times, I'm not sure how we win that. So, you know, I think the side that we put out in the second half was definitely better than the side we put out in the first half. Origi, again, seems to have done something, which is nice to see. But yeah, the only thing I was going to say about Toffolo, well, I mean, come on, Origi, if he's on 200 grand a week, I'd like him to do more than 15 minutes every now and again, right?
I agree.
But I think I have to say about Toffolo, I think we give a lot of credit to Nuno for bringing on players like Tavares and Willems and finding what they've got. But I think Toffolo is probably the first example of a player that's got worse under Nuno. He doesn't seem... He was doing well under Cooper. Everyone was saying, God, isn't he much better than last year? He's really, playing week in, week out, consistent performances. But I don't know. I think that Nuno just doesn't like him. So
I don't agree with that. I don't think he's got worse. I just don't think he's getting the game time. Yeah. Clearly Tavares is his number one, but I don't think it's because Toffolo's got worse. I just think it's because Tavares, it fits that attacking mindset. And I said on the last stream, Callum Hudson-Odoi is not the same player without Tavares. Callum Hudson-Odoi is like Brennan Johnson and Jed Spence. If you take one of them out of the equation, they're not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lemmy, just on this Niakhate thing, Rob just touched on these throw-ins. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm getting sick of them. When was the last time we scored from a Niakhate throw-in?
If ever. They were, aren't they?
They
used to be flat. They used to be flat, and now they've.
But we still weren't scoring many goals with them, man.
Yeah,
we were getting excited.
We were causing havoc.
Yeah, but we scored, I think, 1 goal with one of those throw-ins against, was it Liverpool or Chelsea or something last year?
Reyna's got a longer throw than him anyway. I saw I couldn't believe his throws in the AFCON. Yeah. I thought, interesting.
But let me, is it getting a bit predictable, these long throw-ins? And it's like, he's not really even clearing the first man in the box at the moment. Should we just give up on them? It's like, you just pack the box out and hope for the best.
I won't say give up on them. I think you're probably putting a bit too much credence on expecting to score from a throw-in. I think the percentage of goals scored from throw-ins is going to be significantly lower than 1% per throw-in. You get a direct goal from it. So it just gives us options. And I think we saw it last season because we scored so few goals that it then created as an option, especially scoring from bloody corners, where we've only just scored our second goal from a corner yesterday. So we're absolutely dreadful when we're trying to score from corners. So throw-ins was just as effective, I guess you could probably say. So probably just putting a bit too much weight on it. I think none of us expected Tavares to be injured. I think we all kind of were hoping that he was going to be available in. So I'd like to think it was probably like a late injury that kind of cropped up in maybe Friday or Thursday training that we didn't want to mention. So I don't think any of us were anticipating it. So you're then tossing up between Toffolo and Niakhate. And like Ant said, he has played left back before. And if you're playing a top 4 side away from home, do you go for an attacking fullback who's then going to get caught out more? Or do you try and opt for a centre back who can play as a left back and try and defend more and hold out? I'd imagine that was his thinking going into it. In hindsight, it's the wrong decision, but going into the game, he probably was thinking that might be the best case. And I know, like Crypto said, yeah, he did end up being a bit of a ghost. He was being a bit of a Patrick Swayze, just completely disappeared from the game. But Nuno Tavares would have been overlapping Callum
a bit like Ez tonight.
Exactly like Ez tonight, nowhere to be seen. But Tavares would have been doing the exact same thing if he's overlapping Hudson-Odoi. He's then going to be bombing all the way back. So I think in any case, yes, a lot of blame can be put on Niakhate, but that's just because that's what we saw. We didn't see how Nuno Tavares would have fared in that game, and we didn't see how Toffolo would have fared in that game from the opening minutes. So it is harsh, but I think it is fair that Nuno and Niakhate get criticism for it. But I don't want to say it's a free hit, but I'd rather we get these mistakes out of the way against a top 4 team away from home than making these kind of mistakes in the games that are actual must-wins.
The thing is,
it doesn't work like that, though, does it? It's not like, oh, we missed in the warm-up, so it won't miss in the game. You know, when players are warming up and taking shots, and we're going, don't score them all now. Unfortunately, football.
I wouldn't place the blame actually on Niakhate though, because he's been played out of position. Like when Morgan Gibbs-White got made to play down the right last season. I don't blame the player for that, because although I guess that kind of contradicts Ant's point about him playing 60 matches as a left back, but he hasn't had that experience recently, and all of a sudden he's being asked to play out in the wrong position. So I wouldn't necessarily blame the actual player, but for me, it's more
play him at left back at least once or twice.
I think once or twice, yeah.
Twice. Once against Brentford where he got sent off.
Yeah,
and once I can't remember which pre-season match it was, but it was the one where he injured his elbow after like 2 minutes.
If you have to do that,
as well, his elbow's still injured. He's still got that.
It's not been right since then.
I don't know. I think he's gone all Suarez-like with it and just has to have the bandage for fashion statement now. So
comfort bandage.
If you don't want to play Toffolo, I mean, I would have done. But if you don't want to, why not play Murillo out left? Because he's got pace to actually drive the ball forward. He's a different type of player to Niakhate. You know, Niakhate.
It's all hindsight, Chris.
It's all hindsight, yeah. But it's just, I don't know. Something was clearly wrong, wasn't it? Just on the likes, we've got like 66 likes and 318 people in here, which is
get those likes up, guys. Get those likes up, and let's take a quick catch up on the super chats. Exactly what the legend Monk is saying here. Thank you for the £5, bro. He's saying get those likes up, guys, and make sure you're following us on Insta. Don't forget, shortly we will do the draw. The Wheel of Doom has been loaded for the world famous City Ground. Over 1,000 pieces there for you guys to get involved in. And Chris, is that your completed set right there, Chris? I love the picture, man. Look at that. He's even got it all like professionally pictured up, Chris. If you sent that through on Instagram, I think it was. That's what it looks like. And one of you is about to win that free for tonight. So best of luck to you when we do the draw. Noah with another $4.99. Noah, you are so generous, bro. Thank you so much. And this is the exact topic we're coming on to. Love Felipe, but he shouldn't have been playing. I don't think switching Niakhate and Felipe around and subbing on Toffolo, that's what I thought Nuno should have done, he says. Thank you so much for the $4.99. We are about to move on to Felipe. And Dino had put this comment up saying, Felipe is well past it. Murillo is so overrated. Good footballer, but terrible defender. Williams is championship defender. Our defenders are so poor and will get us relegated. And just before I bring Ant in to get his take on it, shout out to Nikki with the $1.99 with this trolling comment. Should have kept King Cooper. God, I loved him. Thank you so much, Nikki. And on the point of Felipe, this is what I love the fans, the Forest fan base, right? Felipe, he's back after West Ham. Greatest defender. Still best looking man on the planet. Now, as you've seen from some of those messages and some of those super chats, Felipe is done. He's past it. He lost his powers with the man bun. He'll never play. Rob said he thinks that may be his last game for Forest. It is definitely very, very reactionary on both ends of the scale. But where do you lie on it? Are you reactionary to it, or do you still love the man?
I kind of am. It's really sad because that wasn't the player. He didn't have the power or the passion or the pace that he had last season. Last season he was a monster. I think because he's been missing all this season, I think we've kind of, in a way, forgotten just how good how dominant he was, what a difference he made to our defence. Everything you'd want in a central defender, it's all gone. It's all gone. And I don't know whether, when you get to his age and you get these injuries that he's had, you never recover quite the same as when you're younger. I think that's, it's not rocket science, is it? And I just think that there's already talk about he's sorting out his contract for next year elsewhere and stuff, which can't blame him for, because I don't think we'll be keeping him. So his mind is possibly not fully on it. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Rob. I think it could well be his last game and should well be his last game, probably. I mean,
Dan, you weren't saying that 2 days ago. You had him in your team. You had him in your team. Are you being reactionary, chat? We're doing a poll on this. Is Felipe
of course
done?
We're being reactionary. That's what you are if you're a football fan. There's something wrong with you if you're not reactionary. If you see somebody play crap and you think, oh, that's all right, and there's something wrong with you.
Hang on a sec, because half the fan base saw that with our manager last season.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I'll move on from that, Mr. Troll. You control our fan base. I'll leave that to you.
And the tumbleweed and crypto both disappear.
I have no confidence that he's going to get back to the kind. I have no confidence that he's going to get back to the player he was. There's not really a reason to once you start reaching the latter end of your career and you've had these terrible injuries and you're looking at playing somewhere else. There's no reason to think that player is going to do his best to get back to what he was. And I don't think he will. So sadly, I think it's the end of Felipe. It was nice while it lasted. But yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Bye.
Yeah, but do you not think he was made to look worse yesterday because he was getting pulled out of position?
No. I've seen Van Dijk play, mate, and everybody around him could be shit, and he still looks like a colossus in there. So no.
You've got him in for his experience, though. He should be able to read what's going on.
His leadership, man.
Well, this is it. Last season, I think you would probably have agreed with the fact that his leadership made a big difference. He ain't the same player. And I'm not one of these blind people who just support somebody because I said it or diss somebody because I said it. I could change my mind on the evidence that's presented to me, and the evidence that's been presented to me so far by Felipe is done. It's really sad because I really enjoyed watching him play. He was the first proper defender we'd had for a long, long time at the Forest Ground.
Yeah,
not anymore.
It was really disappointing to see Amabamidele come on and make that crucial mistake again. It's nearly every game now that there's a wayward pass.
But that is his first mistake.
It is. But it's always someone's first mistake. It was the Langas last week, Danilo's before, Dominguez before that.
No, but I think that's
someone's first mistake. It's costing
us. You're putting too much on him. He's young. He's going to be inconsistent. No, exactly. I've watched a lot of football in my life. I've seen it hundreds of times. He will come good, but don't force it on him.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying in general, not just him, but there's a mistake every single match. Literally, nearly every single match, there's a mistake which costs us a goal. I said it on Twitter. We may as well start the games 1-0 down.
You then ended up 2-0 down after the mistake, mate.
Yeah, we're still losing. It'd be the same result.
I think you lot are being too reactionary. Now, 54% of you.
I think three strikes and you're out. Okay, Felipe had a bad game against Fulham. He had that mistake last week against West Ham, and now he's had a bad game against Villa. And I think that is an area of the pitch where we've got a lot of competition. We've got Bolly coming back, who was immense in the first half of the season, and we've got Amabamidele. That was Amabamidele's first mistake, and I think you put Felipe into that team for his experience, because otherwise you've got a very young back line, and if he's still being pulled out of position and he's not reading the game, I mean, look, let's give credit to Villa that they were really good. Their movement was really good, but we've got Liverpool coming up. We've got some tough games coming up, And when I think about the Brighton away game, you now have to think: are we going to approach that like we just approached the Villa game, or are we maybe going to go a bit more solid and maybe consider different personnel, different formation for that game? Because I think that's these next 2 games are both really tough games. And I don't know whether just flinging ourselves at them in the same 4-2-3-1, especially if you've got key personnel missing, I don't think that's the right idea. But in terms of Felipe, I think it's not reactionary. I think 3 strikes and you're out. When you've got that amount of competition in the central defence. No. I think Fulham. It is. Fulham, Jimenez made him look bad, made him look really bad.
Who did you want to start yesterday, Rob, as your centre backs?
Him.
So it is reactionary then.
And that's why I feel let down.
So it is reactionary.
It is.
What do you reckon, Lemmy?
Yeah,
reactionary.
Yes, we're reacting.
We're reacting to the match, though. We're reacting to the match.
But after the West Ham game, everyone was talking about Felipe coming back as if he was the second coming of Christ. He'd all of a sudden been reborn. He'd come out of his injury, and that's it. He's playing with Murillo, who's also a native Brazilian. He's going to lead Murillo for the rest of the season and really coach him up. And now all of a sudden he's had 1 bad game again. Right, that's it. He's done. Get him rid. He's done. He's got to hang his boots up. Everyone is being reactionary.
Don't compare me with all the knobheads on Twitter. You see signs in players.
You can tell if they've lost a yard. That's it. He's done. You
can tell if he's lost a yard of pace. I can't tell that he's lost a yard of pace, Lemmy, until I see him play. I can't tell.
You saw him play against West Ham.
West Ham never touched the ball. Come on, let's be realistic.
You're reactionary.
No. Come on, Wolfie. Let's be realistic. You cannot compare Aston Villa's attacking threat with West Ham's against us. You can't.
You can on pace. Kudos is lightning. You can.
Huh?
You can on pace. You can.
Who's lightning?
Kudos.
Never saw him touch the ball. Next.
Yeah, so you're being reactionary. Why didn't he touch the ball? Because Felipe played well. What
I'm saying is, again, you're saying he played. In fact, he didn't play that well he played okay against West Ham because he didn't have anybody to tackle.
Murillo saved his arse.
They never came forward.
Murillo saved his arse after Antonio.
The same as playing against Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey and etc. And their midfield coming through rather than West Ham's who never came through. They just sat there. So come on.
So are you saying Villa did us for pace yesterday? Are you saying Villa did us for pace?
They did us with everything. Just better players.
They pulled our defence apart. Felipe
they shifted the line.
Yeah, the line shifted. Suddenly,
they did us for pace.
The whole box by himself.
You can say what you like. Felipe did not have a good game yesterday.
I'm not saying he did. I'm saying you're being reactionary.
It wasn't
exactly. What I'm saying is I saw enough in his display from both the physical and mental side of it to think that he's no longer the player that he was. And that, at his age and with his injuries and with the prospect he's got, it's not
48
difficult
hours
to understand.
And there's somebody who wants to join.
Hold on, Crypto. Hold on. No, you are. I'm sorry, but chat. Is Ant being reactionary? Yes or no? Just put a Y or N in the chat. You are, Ant. At least Rob's admitting to being reactionary. Go on, Lemmy.
How many times have I said yes, I'm being reactionary?
Was it either the post-match West Ham game or the pre-match game for yesterday where we all said how good Felipe did in the air and how well he was at dominating and how was he doing at being very physical? We're now all of a sudden saying, oh, but he's not got the pace. We knew that. We knew that going into the pre-match, and we said, "I don't want to pick him."
Let him finish, and let him finish.
No, but
I'm pretty sure it was then
I've not said.
Crypto.
Okay, you can correct him after. Let him finish.
A pacey centre back with Murillo. You just need to have someone who can sit back. So yeah, I want to play Felipe, which is exactly what Crypto said 48 hours ago. That's fine. But if you've then got done out for that, don't be reactionary and say, "Oh, that's it. You've got to get rid of him."
What are you supposed to fucking say then? Oh, I know he's crap. I know that he's finished, but keep him in because I said he was good. That's mental.
Stick to your guns. Don't.
No, if I see evidence against it, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be in denial.
Yeah, what's your sample size? What's your sample size? What's your sample size? Your sample size for starting was West Ham.
I saw enough. I don't need a bigger sample size. I don't need to see him lose another goal because of a poor defensive display. I saw enough in his physical attributes, the way he played, and also mentally, the way that he wasn't as determined as he used to be. I've seen enough, so I'm entitled to change my mind. I hoped he'd come back as the player that he was last season. He's
At
not.
Liverpool next week.
It's dead. It's dead.
All right, let's. I'll
Simple.
tell you
I
what.
don't understand why you find it difficult. If I sat here and said, "No, you're all talking rubbish. He was brilliant. He should be in the team for the rest of the season," you think?
No,
you
what
say,
I would
"Well
accept
done,
you
well
say,
done."
what I would think is a non-reactionary thing is,
He
I
had a
thought he
bad
played
game.
well against West Ham. He had a
I
bad
didn't
game.
think he played well against West Ham. He was okay.
I'm
he had
giving you a
nothing to do.
hypothetical. I'm giving you a hypothetical. You know what? There's only one person who's going to settle this argument.
Tag team.
Go on, Ez. What are you making? Are you two going to talk? Well, I'll put you next to each other here.
I feel
Go
like
on,
I've come
go
in
on,
where,
don't make me carry on this because I hate it.
I feel like I've come in where I left off on the last podcast, to be honest. I don't think I've missed anything, have I? Are we throwing Felipe under the bus now?
And
After
Ez.
me
And it is.
And
And
Rob.
me. And me.
And Rob.
I'm driving the bus.
Oh, really? Okay. I
Rob's
just
always
had
like-
On to the end.
a look at the poll, and it's very.
You turn your mic up, Ez.
Sorry. I just had a look at the poll, and it's 50-50. Is that better?
Yeah,
And
put it closer.
in the poll. So a lot of fence sitters, but both me and Wolfie suggested that it was horses for courses, that he shouldn't have been picked for that game. And if I've not criticised Nuno under anything so far, but I think his team selection on Saturday was poor. I think he got it wrong.
As the others played no better, Niakhate and
I'm not saying he would have, but we don't know how we would have started off. But I do think the selection to start with Felipe and to put Niakhate at left back was wrong. That first half was poor. They cut through us at will, but we've got to give them praise because their game plan was spot on, and they were getting through our passing lanes far too easily. But the passing was so precise, and we saw some of it in the second half, which we'll get onto because I thought Origi did some really good bits when he came on, and we should have been level. We should have been level within the first 5-10 minutes of that second half. But we'll get onto that. In terms of Felipe, no, I'm not throwing him under. He's not done for me. He's just that wasn't the game for him. That wasn't a game for him. There will be games when we will need him and rely on him, and you can't underestimate the influence he'll have on somebody like Murillo going forward long term. But yeah, yesterday the selection was wrong. He got found out. They exploited his weaknesses, and that's what I expected would happen if he was put in that position. But I'm not ready to throw Felipe under the bus. Hell no. He's
Neither of you be saying this if you look like Luke Chadwick.
Or a pizza face.
No, but I've got to say, right, that's why the chat needs to listen to me and Ez and ignore the rest, because we could see it. Felipe's style was not suited for this game. It was obvious to see. And when your strongest position in terms of resource is your centre-back position, pick the damn right ones for the job. That's all we were saying, isn't it? And now they're all now Rob and Ant are throwing him under the bus, and all of this. But there will be games where Felipe, in a game that we come up against a good crossing team, you would put Bolly and Felipe in as the two centre backs. That's what you would do. That's what I'm saying.
I know, poor man's. Bloody hell.
Poor man.
Billionaire Anton.
Okay, let me just catch up with a couple of other super chats.
And let me do a like check while I'm.
Well, Gordon's saying you won't get no likes without Ez on, so Ez is on now, so you all need to get those likes up. Noah with the 199. No, you're way too generous, bud. We need to fully go at Liverpool. They have injuries. We're going to come on to Liverpool towards the end of the week, but Man U, we're definitely going to talk about as well. Get those likes up. We'll give away the City ground in about 20 minutes time. So if you're entered in there, best of luck. Remember, you need to be in the UK and you must have downloaded SofaScore. The link is pinned in the chat.
Let me enter.
Where's my drink?
Well, yeah, because you'd have just been reactionary if you'd won. So
you would have been checking your phone every half an hour for the result.
Exactly. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic, right? Finishing. Rob, Elanga and Yates, man. Let's pair them together or separate them. Well, do you want to take one of those, Rob? Who do you want to talk about, Elanga or Yates? Because as just mentioned, we should have been level with the Elanga finish, and we should have been back in it with the Yates 50p boot this time. Who do you want?
Well, I feel like I should leave Yates for crypto, but I don't know. Do you want Yates or should... I mean, the problem
I
is
think it's probably safer if you take Yates.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
safer for Yates, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of the other midfielders have managed to score at some point. Danilo, Dominguez, Mangala, God rest his soul. So I mean, in the Championship, Yates would get lots of goals for us from corners and shit. But like, yeah, I don't know what that was. That you can't say, oh well, he missed it, but it's only Ryan Yates. He's not a fucking defender. He should have scored that chance, even if he's just come on. He should have scored that. And I don't know, having someone like that who can't finish an opportunity like that, it is frustrating. That's all I can say. But I don't know, we're a bit thin in that area now. I mean, we need Sangare back. But mind you, he hasn't scored either. But
or Mangala.
No, he's gone now.
Yes.
But Rob,
he has a new life now.
I think the bigger question on the Yates thing, I kind of want to link this into Nuno, because I think one of the big mistakes yesterday was his choice of substitutions. You're 40
why
down.
Bring him on? Why bring him on? He's that.
Well, no, let me ask you the question, not the other.
Yeah.
Why bring him on?
Yeah, well, he's a disruptor, right? He's a disruptor and a shithouse, and he's someone you bring on.
Disrupted our play, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the problem is that Reyna isn't showing it at the moment. I mean, he's only getting a few minutes here and there, but
Time.
He's got to be given time. He's got to play himself into form. But what were the options? But I did feel that was not the right sub. I felt like we kind of lost momentum after he came on. Actually,
what would you have done then, Rob?
I was just going to say the option was you bring Reyna on. If you need to, you switch him with Morgan Gibbs-White.
Exactly.
He can drop into that role. The problem with Yates is he's a disruptor, but we don't need a disruptor when we're
when we're trailing. Absolutely.
Well, the only thing he should be disrupting is their goal net, but he's too fucking shit to do that because he's a Championship player. So
I would have brought Reyna on for Hudson-Odoi much earlier. I think Hudson-Odoi was ineffective in that game. I guess he's had 3 goals in 3 games. He's kind of hoping he's going to pull one out the bag, but he had a bad day at the office.
I liked. There was somebody in the watch along yesterday who I agreed with their comment 100%. As soon as Yates came on, they said sub him off for Reyna. That was the best. That was the best comment in the whole stream.
Oh god. Okay, but I agree with what you said, Crypto, because if we're gonna go attacking, you're 4-2 down. You might as well lose 5-2. Bring on Reyna for Danilo. And then put Morgan Gibbs-White in the advanced days.
Did he take Dominguez off?
He took Dominguez off.
Danilo was having a worse game, but then he took Dominguez off.
Yeah, mate, he gets tired. He works so hard, Dominguez, that by the 60th minute, he's knackered.
I'll be honest,
that's no excuse.
Danilo looked
no, that's the reason, mate. That's the reason he took him off, because he's knackered. He does it every match. Virtually.
Why they're not working on his fitness? I'm sorry, but we're not employing a player who can last 60, 65 minutes.
No. I agree with all that. I agree, but he does a lot of teams. You don't always want him to be full on pressing for 60 minutes, but on some games he does. He has to. So
why is he?
He's not a machine. He's not a machine. No man.
Yeah, but that means bad game management. Why isn't he taking a breather every 10, 15 minutes rather than press?
Yeah. I'm just giving the reason why he takes him off. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just.
I know. I'm just asking you the question. Why?
No, I don't think we've got the play to back him up.
He probably does need to take more breathers.
Yeah, Sangare would be that player. I'd expect them to be an actual pivot midfield, so one goes, one stays. And that moment,
50% of the work then, isn't it?
Well, certainly lessens his workload. And that moment, that connection with Danilo isn't there. Danilo actually looked more tired than Dominguez when Dominguez came off, and then he did that run where they just could not get the ball off him. But it's just not working. But yesterday it didn't work in that first half at all. MG Dub just had no ball at all. I don't know if anyone's touched on this, but Hudson-Odoi just doesn't look the same play without Tavares with him. I think he, if he did say about, I think that was something that I definitely noticed. But Morgan Gibbs-White out. My call was to get him deeper, picking up the ball, because he just was so ineffective. But I did catch actually on the watch along, because I only switch on during halftime just to see what's going on. But I've got to give
thanks
credit.
for your support, mate. I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. But I did hit a like when I did it, and I will check on the likes in a bit, guys, because it's a bit poor when I
hit the like.
But you did say your suggestion was to actually do what Crypto's just said, to bring Reyna on and drop MG Dub into the V8 position, which I think would have worked much better with the personnel we had. Long term, no, but for the personnel we had for yesterday's game, I think that would have been the better move. But we saw the difference as soon as the second half started. Getting that goal before half-time was obviously crucial, and I kind of felt it was going to come. I don't know about you guys. When we got that corner, I just had a feeling we'd get a goal before half-time, and then we managed to get one straight after. And we were back in it. And Divock Origi's got to get some credit for the way he passed the ball yesterday, especially. It was very hard for them to get the ball off him. He played a couple of crucial passes in, which we should have scored an equalizer through, no doubt about it. But when he comes on, he tends to put Elanga in the middle, which I don't know what. Yeah,
it's not right.
How. I mean, I probably have to look at his heat map over his career to see where he normally plays. But Divock Origi's never been a real central striker anyway. But I just think. But I just think, Elanga having to get into that almost a false nine position, I would have rather seen Reyna in there. Elanga's shooting boots, I don't know what he's done to him, but he hasn't had him for a few weeks now. Since he's come back from his injury, he's gotten in some really crucial positions and he's not managed to finish him. But I would have gone with that formation, certainly. But we definitely saw changes in the second half. That mistake from Bamadelli obviously killed the game for us. And it was going to happen sooner or later. I'm not going to put too much blame on him for that. I did think the goalkeeper's position was a little poor. I don't know what that save was. Either knock it out, or I don't know, but he knocked it straight back into play. And obviously it was an open goal for Thingy to slot it in. But they played well. I can't take anything away from Villa. Leon Bailey's on absolute fire. Diaby's not getting anywhere near the team because of Bailey's form, and he's making Cash play better as well. He's making everyone around him.
Do you agree with Sayers that Toffolo there would have got destroyed anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have done much better, but I still would have started with Toffolo. I would have started with an actual left back in that position, playing against probably one of the form wingers in the league. I don't know how many times Niakhate's played left back for us, but I can't remember him having a good game.
He's played over, Ed, he played over 60 games at left back for Mainz. So he's an experienced left back. But we've kind of gone over that ground anyway.
It's not transferred over to the Premier League, has it? But a couple of games out, a couple of games I could only remember him playing left back, and I can't remember him playing well in either game. Didn't work for me, that experiment, and that's probably what cost us in the first half, because they came at us and we had no answer. We looked poor against them, but they were good. They were clinical in that first half.
Just touching on the point, let me just on what Ez was saying about Bamdeli. I think Crypto said it earlier as well. Zai's spot on. Dominguez's hospital pass that caused all the panic. That was the trigger for it. More so, yes, Omar Bamdeli then makes a mistake and falls over like he's Taiwo's twin brother, Bambi on ice. But Dominguez is at fault for that, isn't he? Let me.
And the third goal as well.
It was a tied pass.
So the third goal. The third goal we concede on the second phase from a corner. Dominguez,
his header,
that weak ass header, where he could have just lumped it.
He could have brought it down. He could have brought it down.
You could have brought it down.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't like to criticise him, but third and fourth goal he's contributed. So he had a bad day at the office.
Yeah, how did you rate his game, Lemmy? I've seen a lot of people say that he's had a crap game. I thought overall he did make some critical mistakes, but overall I thought he was okay. I mean, where do you sit on Dominguez's game and his whole fitness level issue?
Yeah, he definitely made mistakes. I think the issue is hopefully when we have a fully fit squad, he will then have other players around him who will almost be able to kind of bail him out of making such mistakes. If we have Sangare back there, he'll then not be caught out as much. And you'd like to think that just because he's made maybe the opening phase that's then caused the mistake, you've then got a backline who's going to be able to bail you out a couple of times. It just seemed like every time he made a mistake, it led almost directly to a goal. It's almost similar, akin to a performance where it was against Newcastle, where Danilo had an awful first half, but he didn't even have a contributing factor to their goal, really. He was just passing it around and losing the ball, but we were able to get away without conceding. So it's a difficult one. But in terms of his fitness, he is the only one that's pretty much sprinting around the pitch, pressing wherever, and then getting back and immediately having to defend, because we've also got Danilo as the other defensive midfielder. So we've not really got a dedicated holding midfielder there. So he's around the pitch for the 70 minutes that he's played. So I don't blame him for them subbing him off, and expect him to be able to do that for 90 minutes is almost expecting another injury. Then at that point, you're just asking for him to not be then out. He's going to be out for the rest of the season if he does that for 90 minutes and then all of a sudden snaps something.
But Lemmy, is it his fault? I think Laurie said it in the chat. He's the only one pressing. They stood off in that first half. Surely everyone needs to, take at least 20% of his workload and start pressing away. Do you think that needs to be addressed?
I think definitely in terms of the front line pressing onto their back line, because you see, especially with the teams of kind of like our caliber, you'd expect them to kind of be chasing it around, but you just never see that from a 1 year. You never really see it from Morgan Gibbs-White. He maybe chase down one player, but then as soon as the ball's gone away, he's just trundling straight back to the centre circle to then kind of sit around and wait. I think the wingers do a decent enough job, but I think if you have a proper holding midfielder next to him, then he's going to he'll be able to press further forward and not feel hard done by if the ball gets past him and then have to run all the way back and get back into a position. I think that's just where we're missing out now. If you can have one truly defensive midfielder who's just going to sit back and never really make runs forward, but he's always going to cover everything in front of that back line, you can then have the other one, who I'd like to be Dominguez, who's then going to be able to press a bit further up and do the pressing a bit higher up the pitch. I think that's just what we're waiting for, and Dominguez is the perfect player for that role. He's just doesn't have the right partner right now.
Yeah. Again,
if you look at Man City, I greatly admire their off the ball work. You got ball players like De Bruyne, Foden, the little Portuguese winger, whose name's just escaped
Silva.
Yeah, Bernardo. They all press like demons. All of them. You watch them, they all press like demons. Whereas with us, this poor old Dominguez is running here, he's running there, he's covering that player, he's running over to that player. It's just not the same sort of thing. And yet their players are ball players. It's not like they're all tough, rugged players. I mean, they are, but they're ball players, So there's no excuse not to do it, is there? You can't say, well,
definitely not. No
I'm a number 10, I shouldn't be doing that. You can't, you can't be saying that, can you?
I wouldn't say there's no excuse not to do it, but that's comparing us to the best team in the league, if not possibly the best team in the world.
But the principle's the same, isn't it?
The principle's the same, but
you don't have to be a world-class footballer to press. You don't.
Agreed.
No, but you do. You can't then just hire 11 players who just press, and then as soon as you win the ball, you can't do it.
I think
his point is valid.
You're right. Our players shouldn't press, mate.
No, his point is valid. No. Pressing individually doesn't work. There is a science to pressing. There's a science to it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's why the talent side of it is not the most important factor. It's the organizational side of it. It's one player leads the press, and then the others, as soon as he makes a move forward, the others see him and they move forward. That's what you need. We don't do that.
You both are kind of saying the same thing.
Nobody else goes. Pardon?
You're both saying the same thing, to be honest. You're agreeing without realizing you're agreeing.
No,
Anyway.
can I just make a quick point? And
Yes.
I don't really want to talk about this because we've spoke about it before. But in terms of you're talking about game management, in terms of season management, there was an argument before that Sangare comes back after AFCON. It's only 2 games without Mangala, and then Yates drops to the bench. That hasn't happened because, as I said, Sangare could get injured, and he has. And now Yates is the number 1 replacement, and it's just not good enough in comparison to someone like Mangala.
Is that you still going on about Mangala? Because we can't keep having this conversation, mate. We had to look at some stats the other day.
A good sale. That's the reason.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I said look at the situation we're in this season with FFP.
Can we not go down this line again?
No, can you let me? If you let me.
Yeah, but can I just finish my point? Let me just finish my point. 10 more seconds. The FFP thing doesn't sit with me because we sold Mangala and then we're trying to buy Akpom, is it? So it's not FFP because we would have spent all the money that we just sold him for.
No, we wouldn't. We don't know what would have happened. We don't know what you're talking about speculatives now. But I'm talking about the situation we're in this season. I don't want us to be in that situation next season. And we had to look at some stats.
Selling Mangala is making no difference.
We had to look at some stats after the show the other week, after we finished arguing anyway. And Mangala is one of our top transfer deals that we've had in the last 30, 40 years in our history. He's one of the biggest transfer ever, and that's from a loan fee. That's not even from a sale. So we could technically get him back. But I don't think we could risk that. And we can't, that wasn't I genuinely believe there's nothing to do with the money from his point of view. He wanted to play, he wanted to be guaranteed time. And I don't think Nuno could guarantee that for him. And that would have been led to his decision. It wasn't just about money. But anyway, that's a moot point. We need to stop talking about it. The fact of the matter is, the players that we've got, we all expect Sangare to be back. We can't base our whole season and yesterday's result on just one player, can we?
No, I'm not.
And how many results did we get when listen, Mangala played most of the season under Cooper? How many games did we win under Mangala? Are you making him out to be some sort of bloody
God? He was our best player. He was our best player.
Yeah, he was our best player.
All right, we're not going down this Mangala rabbit hole. I'm sorry, we're not doing it.
No,
I can't be asked.
I didn't say just stop it, but they won't fucking stop.
Yeah, let's stop. We got a couple of super chats to catch up. No, you just we're just going to call this Noah TV at this stage. He wants to know, thank you for 199. Can I meet you guys at the Man U and Liverpool game? Are you sure you want to meet this? Are you sure?
Depends who you want to meet, but I won't be there for Man U, but I think me and Ant are there for Liverpool. So I don't know.
Will you be sitting together?
No, actually we won't.
Are we sitting together this time?
No, we're not, you idiot. I remember.
No, can I remember? I don't even know what day it is, mate. Never mind.
Remember, no, because
to be fair, Pillocks, fish have bad memories, so.
Pilchards, you mean?
Pilchards, yeah.
Jack, thank you so much for the 10 months, buddy. We do appreciate your support. Okay, and to prove we appreciate your support, ladies and gents, it's time to bring up the Wheel of Death to give away the world famous City ground. We've had a crap load of entries. Where can I put it? And let me just get the wheel up and get this kicked off. So, best of luck to everyone. Now, how do you guys want to do this? Do we do a fake first spin to see who would have won and doesn't won? Do we go cruel?
No,
just keep spinning till it lands on Lemmy. Then you're good.
Keep spinning till it lands on Lemmy. So all the names are loaded up. Huh?
Is Lemmy allowed to enter? I wasn't allowed to enter. What's going on?
If Lemmy enters, it's under a false name. That's for sure.
Under a false name.
You got to be based in the UK as well.
Yippee if you win, Lemmy. It'll give the game away.
So, Matthew, you legend, thank you so much for the 5 months as well. All right, here we go. Like, Craig's already on it. Rigged already. Look, all your names are in there. Here we go. Fixerine, new one there. So, there is everyone's name in there. It's all scrolled.
Who does it start on? Who's that arrow pointed at to begin with? And does that make any relevance whatsoever?
It's on Noah. Or you want me to spin it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I say go
Catfish is
straight
claiming
into it,
lost.
guys.
Laurie
Is
wants
it-
us to keep spinning. Oh my
Is it
god!
worth, is it worth mentioning the UK thing in case they're based in like South Australia?
Well, we've already mentioned that. So what we'll do 2 spins. One will have 24 hours to claim it. If they don't claim it, it will go to the second person. Okay. So, are you guys in the chat ready? Best of luck to everyone. Can we get table drum roll from the boys on the panel, please?
Okay.
Here we go. And the winner of the world famous City Ground is.
Ooh.
I can't give it to him. I can't give it to him.
That's no fix at all.
Carlos not in the
That's
UK.
definitely fixed. VAR.
Carlos, man. Carlos wins it.
Yeah.
Oh my
When
god,
we
there's
went
gonna
out
be
that
so
one,
many
okay.
rigged comments in there, man. Oh, that is definitely rigged, man. Oh my god. All right, let me just spin it. Just in case
You know
Carlos
he's in the UK. You know he's in the UK. You don't need to spin it again.
He's in the UK, man.
he's
And
in
let's just spin it just to make sure.
Laurie
Here we
says
go.
she's in Nottingham and she'll collect it.
Yeah, problem
So,
is,
save on
Laurie,
postage.
it's in Peterborough right now.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
winner is
Oh yeah.
Call again.
Matt Green, Gamer DW 2597. That was a YouTube entry.
Yeah.
So if you are there, let me know. I can't believe Carlos won the spin. let me message him. And
Even
just
I
check,
think
right?
it's fixed. And I know it's not fixed, but even I think it's fixed.
It's definitely fixed.
All right, so congratulations to Carlos. If he relinquishes it, it's going to Matt Green. It'd be stupid to relinquish it. Stop with the brown envelopes. There's no brown envelopes, man. It's legit. It's legit.
I've just had a text from Mark Clattenburg, and he says that's BS.
Oh my god, he's gonna.
We might as well employ him and put him to some use anyway. Did anyone notice him sat there? And I just, I don't know. I was a bit annoyed seeing him there. I was like, we
Same.
just look like pricks.
Oh, here we go. Here we
He's
go.
not a Forest fan. He doesn't
All right,
care.
Rob. What did we gain from Mark Clattenburg being there on Saturday?
Did we have any horrific decisions against us yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Niakhate left back.
Yeah. He shouldn't.
I mean,
exactly.
I did feel like the Villa players fell over a lot. I mean, if you look at we did something like 7 fouls. No, we did 19 fouls. They did 7. It felt like they were a bit protected, but there wasn't. Look, there's no outrage. There was no controversy, was there? You know, I mean, I was thinking, is that Niakhate goal going to be VAR for offside? But no, it more or less went smoothly. So. Yeah, okay. As far as
By the way, how simple was that corner? Why hasn't he tried that?
Yeah.
Get to the car first, knock it back across, and have somebody knock. So simple. Why aren't we trying? Oh,
I know.
I don't know. But that's not what I want to talk about, right? That's not what I want to talk about. Bloody hell, Chris, that took you hours, didn't it? I saw your Instagram messages. Right? I want to talk about, because we haven't talked about him for ages, right? And I know Ant's been gagging to talk about him. So I'm going to kick it off with Ant here. Taiwo, well, what are we saying? He just doesn't... is he not match fit? Is he crap? Is he good? Where are we on Taiwo? Chat, what are your thoughts right now on Taiwo?
Yeah, I'm concerned because he's been totally ineffective. He may as well not be there. I'd rather have Chris Wood there at the moment, to be honest. He just yeah, right now.
Oh,
Sky's
right now.
Stream.
Sky's going to be sorry.
If Chris Wood was fit, I'd rather him play as number 9 than Taiwo at the moment. Whether it's a fitness issue with Taiwo or not, or whether he's just, I don't know, not got it or whatever, but I'm concerned about it because he was terrible. I mean, he's not fit. I agree with that. He can't be fit. But if he's not fit, we can't afford to have him playing. I know.
And is he done like Felipe? Is he done like Felipe?
No.
Double standards.
This is another agenda.
Yeah, double standards.
But if 50 million came in for him, I'd sell him.
Ooh. Honestly.
Oh,
Ant's on
Oof.
fire tonight.
No, I'm gonna let
Bomb
somebody
drop.
else. take this.
You're trying to reopen the Mangala debate, and
I'll let somebody else take this.
but would you say it's good business, then? Would you say it's good business?
Yeah, because we'd be able to go out and buy a striker that can stay fit.
The right answer to that question was no, but
It was a trap. It was a
it's
trap.
a trap. Yeah, it's a trick question.
Yeah.
Wait, there's so much to unpack from what he said.
What I'm saying is, if we sold him and bought a £50 million striker that could stay fit, I would prefer that.
Right.
So you get 50 million for him and sell him, get 50 million for him and buy somebody else for 50 million, yeah?
Can we be fair to Taiwo that he has actually scored 2 goals since he came back, despite not being
got an assist.
full
Yeah.
strength?
Surgery as well.
So I think rumours of his demise are somewhat overstated. Having said that, I would like to see Rodrigo Ribeiro start against Man United for the following reasons. We need to know whether he can do it for us, and this is the opportunity to find out. And I think in a game like that, you introduce Taiwo later on if you're trailing, because also you want to finish with him on the pitch in case you get penalties, right? So I think I would like to almost like to see us start with.
It's probably pull his groin in the run-up.
Does it go to a replay?
I think it's go to a replay, wouldn't it?
No, extra time penalties. I'm coughing, so have your facts right.
Right, yeah. So
Really?
this is what I'm saying. I think if Taiwo's going to play half the game on Wednesday, which is the smart move, I'd rather he plays the latter half of the game because you need him on for the pens at the end. Let's put Rodrigo on.
His pen was the worst one against.
Yeah, it's not great at that.
It was a winning one, though.
It nearly didn't go in.
But it did, and it won it for us. So,
Rob, sorry to interrupt. I've got to get this out quickly. Can I just say, boys and girls, if Taiwo comes back and starts playing really well and slamming the goals in, I will change my mind.
Reactionary.
And can you
Reactionary.
just clarify something for me? So when it gets to the 5th round, there's no replays.
I'm going to check it now.
Correct. I am telling you facts. It's extra time penalties.
Yeah, I didn't think
we always win on penalties.
You have to aim with your substitutions and with your game management. If there's people that can only play half a game, you need your key players on for this available for the second half of that game, right? I would also like to see maybe Origi start on the right. And if Tavares is not available, switch Elanga over to the left and rest Hudson-Odoi. Maybe
Rob, we're going to come on to Arsenal. Let's keep this on Taiwo.
Okay.
Sorry, not Arsenal. Bloody Man U.
Yeah, but
what are you saying? Because Ant said dropped a lot of bombs there. We need a poll. He said that he prefers Wood now to Taiwo. He would take 50 million for Taiwo. Did he drop any other bombs in there that I missed while I was choking? Because I did choke. What are you saying to that, Rob?
Those bombs, I think he needs to be escorted through Plymouth and disposed of at sea because, like, those.
That's a bit strong.
Those are some big bombs. Now, in Taiwo, I trust. In Taiwo, I trust. The point is, he's never really looked that good, but he gets the job done. Right? His penalty looked shit, but it did go in and it won us the game. And he scored against Arsenal. He scored against West Ham. I've not got any real doubts, but I just think you don't want to play him 3 full games in a week at the moment. He's had surgery. He's coming back from surgery. I do think we are now seeing the value of Wood. Someone I've championed on this channel. It would be good to have him available for selection. We don't.
You're being reactionary, Rob. You're playing.
I'm not being reactionary.
You are.
You and Anne have been so reactionary tonight.
Honestly, man. I'm moving Lemmy, man. Lemmy's getting stuck between the reactionaries here, man. Seriously.
And you, Mr. Wolverine, you're very naughty. I can see what you've done. You're very naughty. I did not say that Wood is better than Taiwo. What I said was, at this moment, I'd rather have a fit Chris Wood in than an injured
What have
Taiwo.
I done? What have I done?
You put who is better, Awoniyi or Wood. That's not what the question
that's got nothing to do with you. That's just a poll question. Chat, get your answers in. Who's better, Taiwo?
Yeah, it's not all about you,
I would answer Awoniyi to that, you see. but right now, I would answer Awoniyi to that poll. I would say who is better. Awoniyi is better. But right now, a fit Chris Wood, I think, would be more beneficial than this tired.
Yeah, but you want to sell
Taiwo.
Taiwo, man. So how can
I'm
you?
sure you
How
just
can
said
you?
Wood was there.
Right to sell him,
Just
mate.
transfer
Wood for
listed
50
him.
million as well.
You've just transfer listed Taiwo.
He did, yeah. It's football manager here for
Rob,
Antler.
you've got to look after PSR. You know that.
Oh, now PSR matters. But you were going to spend that 50 million straight away anyway. So how does PSR
Yeah, I would.
come
Yeah,
into it?
yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Reactionary, mate.
Let me bring some sense into this. I still can't get over these two bombshells. Do you agree with anything Ant has said, like ever? I guess.
I'm still trying to find the sense in that, if I'm perfectly honest. I think Awoniyi has been our best attacking player for a season and a half that he's been with the club. He's definitely not the prettiest player. He's definitely Bambi on ice anytime he's on the ball. He's never been someone who's going to be able to score that kind of goal that Chris Wood managed against Newcastle, where he can take the ball, dribble it past 2 or 3 players and then dink it over a goalkeeper. That's not what you get from Taiwo Awoniyi. You get the power for him to be able to control any kind of pass or cross inside the box and then find the finish, like he did against Southampton last year and like he did against West Ham last week. But last week seems to be completely forgotten once again. We only focus on the most recent game, I guess, on this channel.
Let's point the fingers here.
Taiwo is definitely our best striker that we have available. I think what we've found this season is we have more goals available from other areas of the pitch. Like Alanga's contributed, not so much in the last few weeks, but over the season he has. We've got Hudson-Odoi, who's finally providing something on the left-hand side, which we've not had for a season and a half. Morgan Gibbs-White's now actually playing in his actual position. So we're finding goals from other places, but Taiwo is definitely our best striker. I would not look at selling him right now because we have no immediate replacement that's any near that quality that we've got
right now.
Well, there's a question aimed at you there, Lemmy. Did Lemmy not see Taiwo's goal against Palace at the end of last season?
Where he kind of ran into a tap-in and then started shimmying, had no idea what he wanted to do, and then still managed to slot it into the middle of the goal. He didn't put it in a corner. He didn't dribble it past players. He ran at pace into the goalkeeper, didn't realise what he wanted to do, so he stopped and then did a little bit of a shimmy like Ronaldinho did against Chelsea about a decade and a half ago, and then found the goal. Yeah, great goal, but he didn't do what Chris Wood did against Newcastle, which was actually run past players with the ball. Can
I just mention, because I don't like my words being twisted, you can't sell players right now. It's not the transfer window. The earliest you could sell Taiwo if you were selling him would be the summer.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You can do it.
Hang on. So when you say
I thought
when you're saying I wouldn't sell him right now, that's implying that I said I would sell him right now. That's not what I said. I also said Taiwo is a better forward than Wood. So he's our best forward. I said that.
But you said
I don't like people twisting and making out and saying things that I'm not. What I'm saying is at this precise moment in time, Taiwo looks unfit, out of form, and just not with it. And if Chris Wood was fully fit, I would prefer him to lead our attack right now. Taiwo can come on after 70 minutes, get his fitness up and play like that. I don't think we can rely on him right now. That's all I'm saying.
But that's what he is doing. Nuno said that he has to go off after 70 minutes because he's not fully match fit. I mean, he's only just come back from surgery and injury. It's only been a few matches. So, there's a reason why there's a Awoniyi shirt behind me and not a Chris Wood shirt.
But you'd sell him for 50 million.
No, it's because he ran out of W.
I'd sell him for 50 million, yeah. Because no he's back now. Striker. How long is he going to be before he's injured again? Listen, it's no good having great players, good players, if they're injured all the time. And Taiwo is injured all the time. He's not reliable. That's all I'm saying. Don't try and make out I'm a Taiwo hater and I think he's crap. That's not true.
No, you are.
If we had a bit more depth,
money for Mangala, we get lambasted and we hate the club because Mangala's the best player. But you're wanting to sell our best striker when we've got no immediate replacement.
Why aren't you listening? You can't tell them now, so it would be the summer. In the summer, you have chance to replace players, That's how it works.
Yeah, but a lot can happen between now and summer.
Stop saying you want to get rid of him right now. I have not said that, Lemmy. I have not said that.
And you're being a hypocrite because you can say the same thing about Mangala. Sold Mangala to bring in other players.
No. We shouldn't have sold Mangala because we've not replaced him with a better player.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm not going to say the M word anymore. I don't
Rob-
say the M word.
Double
Well, we
face.
haven't, have we?
Isn't it true though that other players are allowed to be injured, but Awoniyi's not, right? And that's because of the lack of depth
Come
we've
off
got
it, Rob.
No,
Rob,
that is because of the
Let him
lack.
finish, Anne. Let him finish.
It is
Well, he's
because of the
talking rubbish, isn't he? He's
No, but you
consistent.
What do you do half the time? Let him
Talking
talk.
Rubbish. You
Stop.
talk rubbish all the time.
right.
Go on,
Don't
Anne.
let me start
Go on,
again,
Rob.
bro.
Right. It is because of the lack of depth we've got in that position.
Yep.
And, other players can get away with being injured 3 or 4 months at a time. But a 1 year getting injured got Cooper the sack, right? And that's because we are totally dependent on him.
Now that's a comment. Fuck that.
That's the worst comment. We have
No,
like
no, it's not.
It's not a reason.
No, it's not.
Cooper-
No, you know what, Rob? What Rob said, I don't agree with it, but that was the club statement, wasn't it, Rob? The club said we appreciate and acknowledge that Cooper's got it hard because Taiwo is injured. That's what you're referring to, I assume, yeah.
Yes. I mean, there's been other people that have had injuries. Like Niakhate had an injury. No one's saying sell him because he's always getting injured. Felipe had an injury. No one's saying sell Felipe because he's always getting injured. It's like if you've got areas of the team where you've got depth, then you're allowed to get injured. But Awoniyi has had too much responsibility, and his injuries, like last season, we had a mid-season dip because he got injured. This season, we've had a mid-season dip because he got injured. But that's our problem for having a lack of depth in that position. And we should not take it out on him. And we should not be saying, oh, we want a striker who's capable of getting 20 goals a season and never gets injured. Like those cost about 80 million. Oh, right. Hang on. I'll move.
You're fine. You're fine. Don't.
You're fine.
Can I just make
You're fine,
one point? Can I just interrupt at one point? Taiwo has been injured most of the time under Nuno, but he's averaging 2 goals a game, as in Nuno's team. So the point about Taiwo being injured costing Steve Cooper his job is absolute bollocks.
No, I agree. But the point Rob's making, I don't want to put words in his mouth. The club literally came out and said it. We acknowledge Cooper's got it hard because Taiwo is injured. However, it's all null and void because Nuno had the same thing and he got a tune out of Chris Wood.
Yeah. I mean, if Chris Wood was fit, we'd be able to manage Taiwo's situation a lot better. Fact is, right, everyone said it. He's come back from an injury. He's come back from an surgery. The whole point of him having that surgery was so he wouldn't keep having the breakdowns that he was having. Now, he hasn't had an injury since he's come back, but we have got to manage his time. And I think it was harsh that he went off at halftime. I think if it didn't affect the way Nuno wanted to play, probably wouldn't have taken him off at halftime, maybe after the hour mark. But I think we're just going to have to ride this out because we haven't got backup. And I agree with what Rob said earlier. I think I'd rather see Ribeiro start on Wednesday and probably have Origi out on the right to try and supply some crosses to him, but because we haven't seen anything of him really. But it's a situation with Taiwo. He's our best striker. His goals pretty much are what kept us up last season, and there's probably what will keep us up this season as well. So I'm not with Ant at all. I think Ant's reacting off obviously yesterday's game and the last few games where he hasn't looked right, but I think he's still a half-fit Taiwo is better than most of the strikers in that bottom half.
He's always half-fit.
Yeah, I know, but in the bottom half of the teams that we're up against, any of them would take a half-fit Taiwo over what they've got at the moment. So he's still an asset. I think we're just going to have to manage his minutes and hopefully the surgery is something that he does fully recover from, but at the moment we're seeing signs that it's affected him and he hasn't got back to that lightning pace, certainly that stamina that he had before, because he could get through 90 minutes. He's not been close at the moment. So I think manager's minutes, I certainly wouldn't start him on. Is it Wednesday that we have a cup tie? I wouldn't start him on Wednesday. Maybe give him a few minutes off the bench, but just depends how the game's going. If there's no chance of us getting to extra time or penalties or anything like that, I wouldn't risk him personally. But let's see how the game goes. But you're just gonna have to manage his minutes, mate. He's not finished.
Listen, can I just end my
can I defend Ant
by
first?
saying by saying I want nothing more than Taiwo to stay fit and be the player that we know he can be. I'm just concerned that he's consistently and constantly injured, and we can't have no team. Other teams in the past have done this, and I've seen it with my own eyes. They've relied on a player that's injured a lot, and it never works out. Now, if he comes back and this surgery's worked, and he comes back and he gets his fitness back and he gets his sharpness back, lovely, fantastic. I wouldn't sell him. I'm just concerned that he's so injury prone, and he is, guys. He is injury prone.
Yeah, but
every time he comes back, I don't know about you, but every time he goes for a tackle, I'm worried about him. You know, and that's you can't build a team around somebody like that. You can't rely on him. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
we've got to go. Obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
I understand what he's saying. We've got to give him till the end of the season, and obviously, he hasn't relapsed since he's come back from his injury, but he hasn't got that match sharpness yet. And that's taking a little bit longer than we all expected. But I think that's what it is. We're just going to have to... We haven't got a choice, really. If Wood was there...
If he comes back and he doesn't get injured, then I'll change my mind.
Yeah. But if Wood...
But at the moment, I'm very concerned that we have an injury-prone striker that we rely on. And you can't rely on an injury-prone striker. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm more concerned...
That's not the striker's fault. That's a squad problem. That's not the problem with the player.
Oh, Rob,
no, and he's right, because if Wood was fully fit...
If you've got a team that relies on a striker that's constantly injured, it doesn't matter what you've got in your squad. You're not going to have two strikers at the top of the game. You have one main striker and a backup.
If Wood was fully fit, he wouldn't be playing every game. We would have been able to manage it better. I think Rob's point is right. It's for squad issue. If Wood was fully fit, we wouldn't have this issue right now.
Do you know what? I never thought I'd see the day where in one stream Ant throws Felipe and Awoniyi under the bus.
No, but I'm going to defend him, right? Because as much as I've taken the mick out of Ant, within his points that I may have or may not have dramatized a little, I agree with him. I agree. Would I dramatize it? I agree with him. Taiwo, forget the whole fitness thing. Yeah. There is still, for me, this fundamental issue about Bambi on ice and shinning stuff. Yes, he is in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Yes, I agree with everything you lot have said about he doesn't look fit and what have you. But let's not forget the club themselves were spitting feathers, weren't they, after 3 or 4 months of Taiwo and sacked the person who recruited him in the first place. Taiwo's touch has not improved since he's joined Forest. His positional play has.
Mate, I think you're just as bad as a reactionary. What did you put out a video about a week ago showing his stats.
He's not top of the stats for goals.
Exactly.
Conversions.
We're comparing it to Haaland.
Let me drop that mic. Mic drop.
Huh? How's he gone from Haaland to selling? I don't get it.
No, that's conversion. Yeah, conversion. When he gets his chance, he scores. But if you're telling me he hits that ball cleanly, I'm sorry, you were watching some different Taiwo.
But that's how he's learning.
I don't give a fuck.
It does matter. It does matter in the long run. It 100% matters in the long run.
Right, it's not conversion rate off
Look,
his toe.
I'll go a step further. I'll go a step further and drop a bigger bomb. Yeah, I have no ratage for Chris Wood. But Chris Wood is a cleaner striker of the ball than Taiwo.
Yeah, but Taiwo's a cleaner striker of the ball than Langer and Yatesy.
I mean, that's saying like asking who's better looking, man, me or you, man. It's no one's going to win that contest, you know.
No, I can't remember the last time Taiwo skied a shot or missed one by miles that was an easy tap in or anything like that. No, I'm not with you on that one, mate. I don't care if he goes in. Yeah,
he missed one against. Who did we play against West Ham last week?
Did he? I can't remember. I can't remember.
Look, I'm not saying Taiwo. I'm not against Taiwo. Taiwo, we need Taiwo. For me, his strengths are his back to goal, his hold up, the way he rolls a defender with the power. Yeah. But I am telling you, if you're going to try and convince me that he has a decent first touch or he doesn't shin half his shots, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Good first touch last week.
No. All right, the one against Arsenal. Okay, the one against Arsenal.
He controls it and finishes, but we'll just forget about that because we're
reacting. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and if you'd have been at the ground, I don't know if you did. If you were at the ground, you'd have looked around and seen the shock on everybody's face because he took it so sweetly and turned on it and scored. That's not normal for Taiwo.
And then let me compare it to the Arsenal one. Yeah, when he did what looked like a Cruyff turn, I was like, whoa. But when you watch it on the replay, man, he has no clue where the ball's going. He just reacts quicker to it and spins round. It was an absolute shinner. I'm not cussing him down. I'm just saying facts.
It's a little bit like saying, well, Ashley Young's not a striker. And then someone saying, yeah, but did you see that goal he scored against Forest? He's brilliant. You know?
Yeah, but even reactions mean something. If you've got quicker reactions than the defenders, then you're gonna get to the ball before them. Let's just, be thankful that we don't have Ryan Yates up front.
Anyway, okay, let's move on.
So he scored a great goal against us. Doesn't make him a great striker, does
Exactly. Yeah, look at Pizza Face. All right, let me just get the super stickers in. Christian with the DKK. And what's DKK?
Danish krona. Why are you asking that?
Because I worked in Denmark.
I worked in travel money. I know these codes, mate.
Wait, when I look at your face, no offense, bro, it doesn't strike me as a Danish native, right?
No,
This is like he's getting on to everybody tonight, isn't he?
Honestly, man. Sorry,
every time when you get these foreign currencies, you turn to him.
Are you feeling jealous? You feeling left out? You need a hug.
Intelligent.
You're like my wife in many ways.
Christian, apologies for Ez getting jealous and interrupting that. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Ez, what currency is that pound sign thing?
Throw it back to Ant.
Oh, so when I ask you, you don't answer.
You know why?
No,
that's
not when you're being facetious.
No, it's because he doesn't know. He's pretending to be Marty, but it's because he doesn't know. It's pound sterling, Great British pound.
Thank you very much, Ant. Thank you very much. Noah's off to bed. He'll see you guys at the Man U game. Thank you so much for all your generosity there. Okay, final thing we have to talk about is the Man U game. I want to talk about Sells. Have we got time? We're running out of time. Okay, let's talk about the Man U game. Because the one thing that cheered me up this weekend, Crypto, was watching.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Sells?
I don't know.
We can do. It won't take long.
We can talk about
Okay, Crypto, I'll chuck this one to you. Again, I'm just going to put it out there. What's the difference between Sells and Vlachodimos? Honestly, tell me.
Well, I think the honest answer, if we're being honest with ourselves, is we don't really know because we've barely seen Vlachodimos get, more than a few full matches. Look, I think the goals that went in, in the 4-2, you can't really blame the keeper. I mean, half of the time they're going into the corner of the net or the other side of the goal, which he was looking at, because they were putting the balls across the goal. So, unless he's going to predict where the ball's going to land, you can't really blame him. But I definitely feel more secure with him than Matt Turner. There's more confidence. You want to, you've said it before, but for me, with a keeper, you kind of just want to forget about them. They do their job, save the goals you meant to save, let in the goals you can't save, and that's fine. He's not making any critical errors. He's not giving the ball away. Yes, he's conceding quite a lot, but you can't just blame that on him. It's the defensive lineup as well. So I don't know. For me, he's okay. I'd still have him as my number one. But I mean, Vlachodimos, we've barely seen him really, have we?
Well, Rob, you've just put this in the chat. Sells better than Vlachodimos. Go on.
I like that.
Okay, so there's a couple of times yesterday Sells came out, claimed the ball from the air, he's comfortable with it. Look, he lacks the weaknesses of Turner and Vlachodimos. Has he produced any outstanding saves? No, but he's a step up from both of them. I mean, he doesn't stand in the goal for a start, right? So I feel comfortable with him. I feel like he's not going to do a gaffe that we end up blaming for a goal. It would be nice if he could pull off some magnificent saves and, be man of the match. But I don't think you get that for the amount we spent on him. I would not let Vlachodimos anywhere near the team. He was there for the 5-0 against Fulham. So, okay, Sells has let 4 goals in. Yeah, I know it's what we used to say about Vlachodimos, but I'm not blaming Sells for any of the 4.
That's my point. That's my point.
All right, well, we've got goals that we can.
I think could have done better.
Yeah, there's about 3 goals against Blackpool that we can blame Vlachodimos for. So so far, Sells has no. In fact, there was one where there was a shot yesterday where a Villa player tried to shoot through his legs and he actually saved it. I was thinking, I hope Turner saw that. I hope Turner saw that because it was exactly the same, close range as well. And he attempted nutmeg and he did save it.
Rob, would you rotate?
And he moved his foot to save, didn't he? He wasn't a fluke. He moved his foot to save it.
Turner will play on Wednesday.
No, because what are we going to learn about Turner or Vlachodimos? Just Sells. You just want consistency now.
I think he will, though. I think Nuno will rotate him.
You think he will
rotate goalies, do you?
Rotate him. I think Turner will play.
Yeah, I agree.
Turner won man of the match last FA Cup game.
So what?
Keepers always, whoever wins on penalties, the keeper always.
I remember last time.
But he was genuinely good. He was.
No, he wasn't. He shouldn't have let in the goal against Bristol.
But don't you want your goalkeeper to be a constant so that he can gel well and get used to it? And he's playing for Forest now.
Yeah,
my opinion of Sells is exactly what I wanted: a box standard goalie, safe. I don't feel nervous with him when he's coming for crosses. I don't feel nervous with him when he's got the ball at his feet. The other two, I was always worried. Vlachodimos never comes off his line. And, well, we know about Turner. So, for me, he's just we want a better goalkeeper in the future. But for now, he's okay.
I'm not buying it. I don't see the difference. I'll be honest with you. I don't see the difference. I think, one, he could have come off his line for that third goal, for the cross header one. That was within the 6-yard box. He should be commanding that. Secondly, he could have smothered the Bailey goal that deflected off him from Watkins to Bailey.
With that one, definitely.
And thirdly, he should have saved the one against Newcastle, the third one, for me. Now, I agree. I don't notice him most of the match. But my point here is, if we spent more money on a goalkeeper, is it really an upgrade on... Look, forget Turner. He's a waste of space. Yeah. No, but is it an upgrade on Vlachodimos? Because I'm still seeing the same thing. Vlachodimos didn't save saves that he shouldn't have saved, and he pretty much saved most of the ones that he could have saved. Yeah. Yes, he was crap off his line. But what's the difference?
Sells doesn't parry. Sells is a catcher. Vlachodimos is a flapper.
Yeah, I mean, Rob's already mentioned it. Vlachodimos never came off his line. We saw a couple of times Sells did yesterday. Only the fourth goal I would probably put him at fault for yesterday. I don't know if I'd have to look back at that their third goal to see what you were saying on that one, whether he should have come out. But I agree, it was in the 6-yard box, so he should have been closer to it. But he doesn't worry me when he's got the ball. Vlach never came off his line. I think it is an upgrade. It's not a massive upgrade, but up until now, we haven't really had to speak about the goalkeeper since he's come in. So
the thing is, though, Vlachodimos will never.
Let me just finish off. I don't see the benefit of bringing Turner back in for the cup game. Yes, he was man of the match in the last cup game, but also remember how he played against Man U in the last time we played them as well, and the goal he gave away. So I wouldn't personally play him
neither would I. I wouldn't do it personally. I just think that he will.
You think Nuno will do it?
I think he'll rotate around. Yeah, but I mean Vlachodimos, I can't imagine we'll ever see him play again.
Or Turner.
If he's thrown his toys out, let him go. You know,
there's no route back for either of them. I don't think, other than injury to Sells.
I feel like you guys are missing my point. I think this is the point I'm making from VB here. We just keep chucking 5, 6, 7 million at the same problem rather than addressing the problem in one swoop and correcting it properly. Because I'm telling you
now, can we? We can't do.
Yeah.
We can't do that right now.
That's a Captain Hindsight thought. That.
If we stay up, we eject both Turner and Vlachodimos in the summer, and we buy a keeper that's a major upgrade, and Sells is a decent backup.
Yeah,
correct.
I agree with that.
Correct.
Just the last point on Vlachodimos. Like I say, he didn't save anything, but he didn't command that penalty area, and I think Sells does that better than either of the others. I don't think that's a conversation we need to have for the rest of the season. I think Vlachodimos is flattered to deceive. Turner has been given more chances than he should have done, but we had no other options because Vlachodimos has been so poor. I've been disappointed with him because I wanted more. Sorry, go on.
To your point, Ed, I think that we often said on it, didn't we? Oh, he didn't save anything that we didn't that we expected him to save. Yeah, he didn't fail to save anything that we expected him to save. But we also said that he should, because he was not in the right position to make those saves. So if somebody scores a really good goal, but your goalkeeper's missing, then it makes a difference if your goalkeeper's in the right position to at least make it difficult. And I think that was our criticism of him, that he was just never in the right place to at least make an attempt to save a shot.
Like outside of the goal, for example.
You won't let that go, will you, Rob?
No, it was terrible. It was absolutely shocking.
We still went through. I just look. I'm not happy with the goalkeeper situation. Still, I'm not. But anyway,
I'm okay with it right now. You know,
I can see it rearing its ugly head in a couple of weeks, and then we're just. I don't know. Anyway, let's quickly look at the Man U game because we won't be doing a Grumpy Old Reds before it. We should have some previews of Flex, maybe Saeed, and a couple of other Man U lot coming up for you this week. Saeed, got to get it all organised. Yeah, there's a lot of beef going on between him and Mark Goldbridge, isn't there? So yeah, let's get the popcorn out for that one. Lemmy, why don't you give us some quick thoughts on what's going to happen on Wednesday? Man U have had their balloon popped, losing to Fulham. They were atrocious yesterday. The only highlight of my weekend, to be honest. And our balloon's kind of been a little popped. Has this just ridden 0-0 penalties? What do you reckon?
I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one to predict because I don't know what team's going to be put out for either team, really. I would rather that we put out a weaker team and prioritise Liverpool at the weekend. Really? Really. There's no point winning the FA Cup if we get relegated. What's that going to do us? It's going to do us Jeff all any.
Be in Europe, mate.
I couldn't care less. I'd rather be playing Premier League week in, week out than rather playing bloody Plymouth Argyle and like Millwall most weeks. But I get to go on an away trip in Europe. No, I'm all right, thanks. I'd rather keep playing Premier League.
Let me ask you this, Lemmy, right? If you could guarantee Forest come back up first shot and win the FA Cup, would you take that? No, because you'd be in the Europa, not conference.
Worst hypothetical ever, man.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. That's an awful deal. I would immediately throw that in the bin.
All right, I was just asking the question. Sorry.
Imagine.
No, it's a fair question. It's a fair question.
Yeah, it's a fair question, but it's still a silly one.
Why?
I agree
with what players are we going to be able to retain by saying, yes, we know that you're going to have to play 45 games in the Championship next year, but don't worry because once a month you get to go out into Europe and play against some.
Okay, and then what if we went and won the Europa League and ended up in the Champions League?
By the way,
the answer to that question, by the way, Lemmy, is Ryan Yates.
I knew he was going to say that.
I know it's all right. We'll be able to get Mangala back. He'll come straight back if he knows that he's playing European football next year, but still playing the Championship. That's fine.
So chat, I'll ask the same question to the chat. I'm sorry, I don't think that's that dumb a question. If you could guarantee Forest are back in the Premier League the season after next, but next year you get Europa football.
Is this us talking about the Man U game with your stupid hypothetical?
Well, okay, because all right, fine. Okay, let's honestly, you lot are horrible, man. Now I know how Ant feels, man. Seriously.
I'm now. I'm trying to make up for it.
And I've got your back from now on, Ant.
Yeah, good man.
Wait, so Lemmy, you're saying? Let me ask this question then, and let me know if it's okay with you. So you don't care about the FA Cup, is what you're saying? Premier League is the priority.
Yes, Premier League has to be the priority. I don't. If anyone else on this panel has a different opinion to that, I would love to hear it and hear their reasons for it.
Me?
Yes, please.
It's Man U.
Both.
But I'm not talking about both. That's completely throwing away the argument that you've just thrown to me.
Yes.
No, I'm saying I would prioritize both.
I got your back, bro.
If we were good enough to do both, then yeah, fine. But we're already struggling with injuries and worrying who we're going to play.
You do what you always do in argument. When you start losing the argument, you change the argument.
I'm not changing the argument. Right? I'll be honest with you, right? I'll be honest with you. obviously Premier League is priority, yeah. But I hate Man U. You can't present in front of my face an opportunity to beat Man U and start, booking in receipts. So suddenly the FA Cup has raised its profile to me in terms of my hatred against Man U, that I do suddenly care very much for. How is that wrong? Am I wrong to feel that? Surely I shouldn't
Same
be.
here, mate. As you know, I had no interest in the FA Cup. As soon as that draw came out, I think I sent you a message saying, guess what? I'm all of a sudden interested in the FA Cup. But I wouldn't sacrifice Premier League for that, obviously. But it is to me a more significant game now than it would have been.
But the question I'd ask back to Lemmy is, why didn't we just default from the first round of the FA Cup if the Premier League's that important?
You're asking his opinion, aren't you? It doesn't mean
I'm not. Yeah. Well, is he going to answer? He's gone silent suddenly.
Well, no, I'm just trying to understand why we keep shifting the goalposts on every single question to me.
How have I shifted the goalpost?
Would you win the FA Cup if we got relegated and you got immediately promoted? Now it's, would you like to beat Manchester United this weekend if you might lose? Now it's, why did we not just immediately drop out the FA Cup in the first place? I've not been asked a great question for the past 5 minutes.
Sounds like you're just dodging. Sounds like you're dodging.
I need to
sounds like you're dodging, mate.
With this question because he's answered it properly. That's fine.
Sounds like you're dodging, mate. Sounds like you're dodging.
It sounds like I'm answering the questions properly, and you keep saying, "Oh, what about this hypothetical? What about if this happens? What happens if Taiwo Awoniyi scores a hat trick but is then injured for the rest?"
Let me. Haven't you seen the Predictor League and his arguments against Marriott and Nick?
I'd rather go out to Blackpool, Andy, 100%, not Man U.
If we were in a better league position, I would give more credence to this game. But like Lemmy, I wouldn't be risking any players in this game. I wouldn't be putting out a strong team.
So you're putting out a weak squad, Eds? You're putting out
No. I didn't finish what I was saying. I said I'd put out a semi-strong team. I'd have players in that haven't started games, like Ribeiro, like Reyna would start for me. Origi would probably start for me in this game as well. And a couple of defenders, but I think we've got a definite first team and second team, barring one or two players right now. So I think the majority of the first team wouldn't be in there, but the second string will be starting, and that's not we haven't got a weak second string now. Again, barring injuries.
If possible, I'd like to see Sangare, Aina, and Bolly play.
Yep.
Yeah. They're the players I'm on about.
And Reyna and Ribeiro.
I haven't been told what their injuries are. I haven't been told what their injuries are, so I don't know. I'm not expecting them to be out for a long time because I think Nuno isn't one of those that plays games. He would have been more definite if there was a serious injury to either one of those coming back from AFCON most recently. I think he would have said so. So I expect all of them, if not most of them, to play in that game, and there will be like some second stringers in that game, and I'll take that. And I still think that should be strong enough to get a result because I don't think Man U will be playing a particularly strong team, and they are got one. We can.
What about that point?
Go at Pizza Face. Sorry, we can have a go at Pizza Face, but they're very different without him.
What about that? What about that point? Using the FA Cup as momentum if we win.
Thank you, Christian.
Not with our league position. Not with our league position. No.
Well, if you get injuries in the process and people are tired,
then play no one. Then just defunk it and default it.
We're not training either because you get a lot of injuries in training. So we better not train either.
Exactly.
That's actually not a bad suggestion for our team.
We'd be better if
Where
we
are you on this, Rob? Where are you on this?
There's only one game that matters to me this week. It is 40 years since we lost against Liverpool at the City Ground. Right? That is one of those games which for me is illegal under Act of Parliament to lose. Right? You cannot lose to Liverpool at home. We have such a good record against them at the City Ground. And, I'm of the age where I hate Liverpool above all else, right? I know most of you kind of Man U haters or whatever, but...
Ant's old as well, Rob. He's with you.
Yeah, they have a special place in my heart. And I cannot bear the thought of losing that streak, right? Draw it by all means. But, they're top of the table as well. It's good. Even with their injuries, that is going to be one hell of a test. And we cannot take our eye off that game, I'm afraid to say. And also, I think that Wednesday is a great opportunity to see more from Reyna and from Ribeiro. I actually want to see more. I want them to be tested on. I wouldn't start both. I think it's too risky to start both.
Wouldn't you? I would.
We should.
would.
No, I think
we kept those new toys wrapped up for long enough.
It's too much. It's too much kind of tinkering Cooper style. I think you have to. You cannot risk starting both Reyna and.
You talk about your idol like that.
No, I think you could move things around a bit, but I definitely want to see one out of Reyna or Ribeiro start. And I think it should.
Okay, so say for Ribeiro start, would you start MG Dub then? Is that what you're saying instead of Reyna? Because I don't see that.
Well, I've already said what I'd quite like to do, which is maybe to move Elanga to the other side and put Origi from the right, like he started against Bournemouth. I'd like to see what he could do with a start, not a bit part appearance, but Origi on the right, Elanga on the left. Gibbs White was outstanding against Man U at home, and they're like, you do not drop him for this game, but I'd like to see with somebody else leading the line, and let's see what he's got to offer. If he's got nothing, then sub him at half time. Reyna will play a part. I wouldn't start. I think starting with Reyna and Ribeiro it's going to take too much momentum out of what we showed against West Ham. So I think that would be a change too many. But I think Hudson-Odoi would be one to make way if his buddy is not available.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that got a good reaction.
I didn't know if you wanted to react to this, Rob.
Yeah, that's the FA Cup. The league is what's it.
League,
That's fair enough.
And we were in the division below as well. We were in the division
I'm
below.
with you, mate. I'm with you.
And they cheated. I think he was offside.
True. Yeah,
he was offside.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
It was Jota. He was offside, man. He was so offside. Yeah.
Yep.
1984, 28th of October, 1984.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about it later on in the week, but let's be honest, Liverpool are going to turn us over.
They fucking are.
No,
did you not listen to the history?
They are not.
I know most
No.
Let me jump in.
They were getting absolutely turned over by Liverpool.
Ez hates Liverpool as well.
Awoniyi will score against Liverpool, and that's what we've got to preserve.
Rob, Awoniyi won't even start after Nuno watches this. Ant's already changed his mind.
He'll probably be injured again by then, anyway.
He's going to
Dortmund. Crypto, you got to appreciate that history that Rob's just told you about. That we weren't necessarily better than them. No. Let me finish. We weren't necessarily better than them through that time, but we had a hoodoo over them, and they couldn't.
Shall we save this for Friday?
I remember when I was there when Collymore came.
We are doing a preview, aren't we? Yeah.
I was there when Collymore came back under Frank Clark. We beat them 1-0. And I was there first game of the season. Sheringham scored. We beat them 1-0, and then we got relegated.
Yeah, but Rob, that was 40 years ago.
It doesn't matter what form we are in. It doesn't matter what form we are in. We can and we must beat Liverpool at home.
You know, Bournemouth are our hoodoo team. We're Liverpool's hoodoo team.
We need to raise our game.
You got to remember, Crypto's only an infant. He doesn't know about this sort of thing. So.
Mentally, yeah. Oh, sorry. You mean, yeah. Right, we're wrapping it up.
Let's wrap it up. Yeah. So, congratulations to Carlos who won.
Can we all make a prediction for the Man U match since we're not going to be here before then?
Go on then. Chat, get your predictions in as well. Go on, chat, get your predictions in. Why is everyone saying hi, Poppy? What have I missed in the chat? Oh, my daughter Poppy wants to say hi. I found it. Hi, Poppy.
Hi, Poppy.
Much love. Hope you're well.
There was a super chat as well. I don't know if it got read out from.
We have got a couple of.
It was from Forest. Apologies. Thank you so much for the £5, and Poppy, thank you for that. I know I have a scarf like Rob. I just don't know how to tie it.
He's got a Liverpool
Rob, how are you tying it like that, man? It's so looks part of the furniture there. You're going to be half it.
It's cold in my house, and it's on brand. So in fact, look, this comes back to the years of when we used to play Liverpool on a regular basis in Europe, all those big games. And this is my lucky scarf.
Okay, that wasn't the question. How'd you tie it?
Right, okay.
Just wrapped it
half
around.
it and then put it through. Yeah. Right. The classic.
Like that.
Classic.
Yeah. And then yank it and hold it for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it makes my complexion more healthy.
That's what most politicians do,
Don't
innit?
try this at home.
Yeah, Mark's got it. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I've got to say, politicians are used to it anyway.
It's Fixie Wang. Yeah.
Thank you again. I'm gonna give credit to Poppy for the super chat, but thank you, Forest Hood, for that. All right, predictions. They're coming in thick and fast in the chat. Crypto, kick us off.
7-0 Forest.
That's realistic.
I'm just
Let me.
gonna say 69 now.
I mean, how do I follow that? I don't know if we're actually being serious or. If
Well,
we're
usually he says 69 now, so he's brought it down a bit. So he's worried.
I was being serious. Anne's convinced me that Taiwo is going to score at least 6 goals.
Give me a second. As someone else, I'll just ask Google to pick a number between 1 and 10, and then I'll say that one.
Go, Rob. Let's let me have the chance. He's doing this.
My predictions are constantly shit, so I don't know whether it's worth bother. 2-2, Forest win on penalties.
Ooh, don't know.
We've never
Oh
lost.
no, this is.
It's going to be another long one.
I'll go 2-1 Forest. 2-1 Forest.
It's going to be
Forest.
another long one, and if it does go to penalties, we are pretty good at penalties at the City Ground.
Top.
As long as
Why
it's
would
in
you
a
jinx it,
Britain.
man? Why would you?
And Nuno's
jinx
going to
stuff like
practice them. Nuno practiced them. Remember, he practiced them before Bristol. He said he practiced them.
I know.
You know,
we'll need a
maybe
Bristol
something that
then, man.
Gareth Southgate should consider.
Comment of the night. 2. He's got
2-0.
2.
2-0
2-0.
Forest. Google
All
has
right.
spoken.
And what are you saying?
Yeah.
He said
I've always
2-1.
said 2-1 Forest.
2. All right.
Yeah,
Ez.
Because they'll get a corner. That's their one.
I'll go 2-1 as well in normal time. I don't think he'll go to penalties.
You know what, boys? We could do without extra time, couldn't we? I mean, we're gonna.
Which means we're definitely going to have it.
Why?
You
It
know
doesn't
how it
matter.
is.
We've got to focus on this game. The game at the weekend doesn't matter. Let's beat United. All effort. Let's go for it. 120 minutes.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
We have to beat United.
Man, we need to see Twist cry.
Exactly.
That's true.
Again.
Yeah, that's incentive
Let's make
alone.
that happen.
This predictor stream on Friday is going to be the best one ever if Forest win, or I might cancel it if we don't go through. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Yeah. All right. On that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been a little less argumentative tonight. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you're new. And just one quick thing.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, well, ish. Don't forget to grab your football prizes tickets for the signed framed Forest shirt. And if you get ticket number 100, it's the insta win of last season's home kit, and that's signed by the squad as well. The link's now in the chat, so make sure you get your tickets. If you get ticket 100, let me know, because a lot of you got very, very close on the watch along. You've got 3 days left to get those tickets in. We will see you tomorrow on the daily video. Until then, I'm going to go and put these lot back in their cage. Come on, you Reds.
You ready?
Forest.